What up? So I'm out here working on the 440 again. So I'm rolling these rings on the piston. Let's see. I'll bring it in here. Okay. So I got all but the 8th one, you know, with the rings installed, whatever. These aren't anything to write home about. They're heavy. 6-pack rod, 6-pack replacement piston. It's got the moly coating on the side. It's sealed power, Speed Pro, something like that. Anyway, there's a part number. You can see the end of these were polished, or ground on, I should say. So this is a balanced assembly, and also I got ARP fasteners, ARP rod bolts. Got all but the last 2 pistons in. Let's see if I can bring it in closer. So what I got is this spring or ring compressor. It's a tapered ring compressor, and if you've ever done any engine building or assembly, you know that these here these here are a drag. They're a drag. I mean, you slice your fingers on them, you're always fighting them, you got to tap them to keep them square, and rings pop out on you. It was worth the investment of buying this. I don't know how much it was, but it's paid for itself in my opinion. You just stick it on the bore, make sure your numbers are facing the right way so you can read it. That's how you know you got it in the right orientation. It's just got a slight taper to it, and you just kind of have to, you know, help the springs get in there, you know, just like that. You can do it with your fingernails. And see, it just slowly drops down. And you can pretty much install it by hand if you want. A couple of them went in by hand, but some of them I had to tap in. I'm gonna just guide the rod down so don't nick the journals. The journal. That's it. So it's been a couple days. I had to get some stuff done. I know it don't look like it, but I've spent most of the day today cleaning this trash heap up. Anyways, fixing to put the cam in. It's a Lunati. It's a hydraulic roller. Here's the cam specs. Alright. Feel free to tell me how it's not what you would use. Got that quite a bit on Facebook. Why are you using such a small... It's a 3-bolt cam. does come with the dowel pin. That's nice. So these holes here are the ones that we got to make sure are clean, because they pick up oil and they send oil up to the heads. If those are restricted or if they got some junk in them, you're gonna have a bad day. Probably ruin our engine. See these two ribs here cast into the block? These are your oil holes. These correspond with these holes here in the cam. And so every revolution, or whenever it spins and it lines up, that's when you're getting a shot of oil to the head. Very important that these are clean and free of debris. See how tiny these holes are? You got to make sure that these are clean and free of debris. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? That's all that oils your heads. But it works. So let's just take a look at the head here. So in the rocker, this is where your rocker shaft mounts. Sorry for the noise. But anyways, this is where your rocker shaft mounts. Of course, your valves and your rocker arms are here. This here is where oil comes up through the head, and then it comes out the rocker shaft, and then it comes down and it oils the shaft. That's how these Chryslers oil. They oil through the rocker shaft. You don't want to use moly paste on your lobes like you do like a flat tappet. So you just want to use oil, and then you can use this assembly lube on your bearings. Some more on the next journal. Alright, now we're going to go in one more. What's up, YouTube? I'm going to put this rear main seal in. That's what I'm going to use. I know, I can use the stock. This is the stock one here. Okay. So this is, so you can see how it's tapered here. That goes towards the back. So the overhang goes on the inside, and your oil pan bolts go on the inside of the flange here. You know what I'm saying? Alright. And then this is a Viton seal. I don't know if you could tell, but it kind of sticks up just a touch on either side, so it kind of compresses when it meets the other seal. And I'm going to put a little bit of a little dab of ultra gray here as well. And then also alignment pins here to help guide it down. So the next thing I got to do is put these rubbers on the sides. The rear main that came out of the junk 440 was actually a rope seal. It was kind of like a moly coated piece of rope. I'm not really sure when they got away from that. They must have got away from it for some reason. To put a little bit of sealer on those sides. So that's what I'm going to do. And also, I'm going to put some Lucas on the seal, on the rear main seal, so it's not dry. Oh, I think I figured out why. Because down in here, it's kind of tapered here at the bottom. Interesting. I never noticed that. So that would make sense why it's tighter here than it is here. They took that into consideration. Way to go! Just a light coat. Just gonna give it a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these alignment pins back in. So we'll see. If it doesn't work, you'll hear about it. How it's kind of cut at a triangle, and at the bottom corner of the triangle is the highest part of the seal. I don't know if you can see that. And also there's kind of a little channel on one side of the seal. The other part of the seal fits on pretty much flush in the cap. That's the flush part goes towards the outside. You want the highest point, the one with the lip, the one with the channel, the one whatever, inside. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of just sliding down on its own a little bit. And these pins help keep it square. There we go. For a little extra insurance. Shouldn't have to do this, but I'm gonna smear a little bit on the outsides. Okay. All right. Okay. Allen bolts. Yep, 5/16 Allen. So they go in without no cross threading. Okay, so I got my pickup tube installed. I got the thread sealed. Check the distance between the pickup tube and the bottom of the oil pan. We got a 1/4 inch clearance, so that's good. I went ahead and put silicone on the back here filled in the holes. Got this one-piece oil pan gasket, and it's a windage tray oil pan gasket. See what's going on here. Okay. Just gotta get it in there far enough. This is kind of like your more modern gasket, so it should seal a lot better than the old style port. Cleaned up my oil pan. This is a 6-quart hemi pan for B-body. Sure, I'll get it in the right direction. Center sump. Picked up this bolt kit so I can save myself a lot of time in cleaning up fasteners. Valve cover, crank bolt, exhaust manifold bolt. There you go, oil pan bolts. So I drop one on the floor. We got these nylon this nylon inside the thread there, so it'll lock in and won't back out. And they have the correct marking on the heads, the bolts. And then these two will go under the timing cover. I don't have on there. Crisscross. I'm going to kind of leave the front loose in case I have any alignment issues with the timing cover. I might, I don't know. But anyways, they went in snugly because they have that nylon in the thread. It helps keep them from backing out. And you can see, you can see the oil pan gasket there. Probably not the best fit in the back here, but it's double O-ring, so it should be fine, hopefully. You can see the 23 on the bolt head, that's factory used. And also up here you can kind of see the outer rib kind of sticking out, but that's okay. I did a bonehead thing, so probably heard me mention before that I was going to get some ARP lube and then lube up the fasteners on the connecting rods and then torque them down, right? I know I said it. I know I intended to do it. But just like any normal human being, make mistakes. But I caught it. I went to go to bed last night. I got the oil pan on, which you've probably seen. And God, just something bothered me, you know. Clicked. I installed the oil pan and all that, and I did not apply the grease and torque the connecting rods. ARP assembly lube. And you apply it to your threads, which I had already done. The underside of your fastener, the flange on your nut here, so that when you go to torque it, it'll have the proper stretch. So these are torqued to 50 foot-pounds. Just kind of sneak up on them. ARP actually has a stretch gauge that you can use to see how much stretch the bolts have, or how much they recommend, or all that stuff. But I don't do this enough to warrant buying something like that. Other YouTubers have mentioned this book. So in the back, it has the torque specs for stock hardware and ARP hardware with the ultra torque loop. So the connecting rod bolts, even though the internet said 50, I'm not gonna go by that. I'm gonna go by this book. So 55 foot-pounds. So I went ahead, torqued them down to 55. Even though it was at 50, I went, you know, some to all the way to 55. So that's that. So that's where I'm going to leave this video for now. I'll bring you back in the next video and we'll talk about the cam button and all that jazz. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.